My name is Molly Korte, founder of Project Just Like You. I began Project Just Like You after my son, Jacob, was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in 2016. I immediately jumped in and started sharing stories about how we are all more alike than different. Because I feel like once you take away the stigmas and you take away labels, you see a person. So I'm so glad that you've joined us here tonight. This month is March. It's Women's Month, and we are speaking with women who are working within the special needs fields in various areas, who are doing their advocacy work and working to better the special needs community. If you'd like to sponsor a story, you can click on the donate button at Facebook. It helps pay for movement money, and every little bit helps. Today is Movement Monday. It's a new initiative of Project Just Like You. And our goal is to introduce you to people who we feel are making changes in the special needs community. Movement Mondays are produced by Fiat Media Television. You can find them at Fiat Media TV and check out their webpage at fiatministrynetwork.tv. I hope you'll take a minute to share this with your friends and tell them what you're watching. Tonight, one lucky person who contributes a relevant question or comment during our live interview will receive an ABLEnow gift basket that includes an exclusive signed autograph of the A&E Born This Way television show. We're going to pick a random winner later on this evening, and we'll notify you via Facebook Messenger. So make sure to comment and ask questions throughout our talk tonight. We're going to start in just a moment, but before we do, please let us know where you're watching this from. We'd like to introduce you. So during our show, every time that you comment in, we will welcome you to our show. And if you're from outside of this country, let us know that as well, because we do have a global audience. All right. So tonight, we're excited to have Sarah Pennington with us as our guest. Welcome, Sarah.
Hey, thanks, Molly.
Hi. All right, Sarah, I'm going to read out your bio real fast.
Okay.
Sarah Pennington serves as the Senior Marketing Communications Associate for ABLEnow, the National ABLE Savings Program offered by the Commonwealth of Virginia, one of the fastest growing ABLE programs in the country. She typically works behind the scenes to find new ways to share information about ABLE accounts with eligible individuals and their families nationwide, like being on our show tonight. Prior to joining ABLEnow, Sarah worked in a variety of communication roles at other state agencies and private sector organizations. Her diverse professional background includes stints with the state's agriculture and economic development agencies, finance marketing experience at Capital One, and tourism marketing experience at Virginia Theme Park, Virginia Ski Resort, and Disney. Hey, Sarah. That's awesome. Sarah lives in Richmond, Virginia, and enjoys the community through the Junior League of Richmond and the Special Olympics of Virginia's Young Professional Board. And that's how Sarah and I actually reconnected again. Yes. Sarah and I have actually go way back. She also became a first-time mom in 2017. Mm-hmm. So welcome to our show, Sarah.
Thanks. So glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. Yeah. So Sarah, I'm going to dive right into some of these questions.
Yes, please do. Please do. We have a lot to unpack.
Right. We sure do. And that is totally cool. All right. Let's see. Sarah, you work in marketing for the National ABLE Savings Program. For those viewers who are not familiar with this, can you explain what the ABLE program is?
Yeah. So ABLE programs, and I work for ABLEnow, which is the Commonwealth of Virginia. So you and we're both in Virginia. Right. ABLEnow is we're really proud. ABLEnow is Virginia's ABLE savings program, but we are open nationwide to people all across the country. Can you hear me, Molly?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'll keep going. So we are open to people, eligible individuals nationwide, who are able to save in an ABLE program. So basically, for way too long, people with disabilities who are receiving benefits could not save in a savings account. They, a lot of the means tested benefits like Medicaid and SSI, they have a $2,000 cap. So families can't save for their loved ones. Individuals with a disability who are receiving those benefits, they can't have more than $2,000 of assets in their name until the ABLE accounts came around. So in 2014, the Federal ABLE Act passed, and that allowed states to set up these programs. ABLEnow is Virginia's ABLE program, and Virginia was one of the first states to pass statewide legislation, and that ultimately led to our program, ABLEnow. So it's a way for individuals with disabilities to save without impacting their means-tested benefits. And you can save up to $15,000 a year. So that's a big leap from, only being able to put away $2,000 to being able to save $15,000 this year, $15,000 next year, and have that kind of grow for your child or for yourself if you have a disability. And it's really allowed a lot of folks, we have thousands of customers now in our first year, and it's allowed them to have a savings account for the very first time.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah.
And that's huge. So it was only $2,000 before?
It was. So if you are receiving Medicaid, SSI, and a lot of other that's called means tested benefits, which means, you can't have more than $2,000 in assets. That's just the law. You couldn't have a savings account. So for a lot of families whose children are receiving benefits, or they may be receiving benefits down the road when they become an adult, families are, have historically been counseled, you save for your children without disabilities, but you can't save for your loved one with a disability, because that will impact and jeopardize these really essential benefits that they need for day-to-day living and independence. And so, how the whole ABLE programs came about is there was a group of parents, and they're actually in Northern Virginia, so we're proud of that too. Yay, Virginia. Mm-hmm. A group of parents over a decade ago in Northern Virginia got together, and they were like, it's just unfair. It's unfair that we can save for our children without a disability. So, we put away money in a 529 college savings account, or, they have a savings account of their own, checking account of their own that we, put birthday money and Christmas money in. But for our children with a disability who might be receiving supports through SSI or through Medicaid, or now or down the road, we can't save for them, because if they have more than $2,000 in assets, that'll impact their benefits and hurt them down the road when they want to become independent, or they need, these supports. And so that group of parents started really a movement, and, that ultimately led to advocacy groups such as Autism Speaks and NDSS, the National Down Syndrome Society, and a lot of other, very well-known disability support organizations started advocating for what's now called the ABLE Act. ABLE stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. So that's kind of a neat fun fact about it. But they started,
that is fun.
Yeah, they started advocating for the ABLE Act to pass. And, it took a long time, because sometimes just to make things happen in DC, it can take a long time. But the ABLE Act was passed with just enormous bipartisan support, and ultimately signed by President Obama in 2014. And what that did was it said, states can, now they don't have to, but states have the option to set up these ABLE programs. Mm-hmm. And it also said that for eligible individuals, they don't have to enroll in their own state's program. Mm-hmm. So a lot of states today don't have an ABLE program in their state, but that doesn't mean that those individuals have to wait to start an ABLE savings account. With ABLEnow, which is Virginia's program, but we're open nationally, We actually have people in all 50 states today that have our savings, have a savings account with us and an ABLEnow account. So we are a national program. Yeah.
So Sarah, let me ask you, I want to clarify something. So you're saying that obviously it was enacted nationally, yes, but not all states have to implement it?
Exactly. That's all the Federal ABLE Act said, was that a state has the option to start up one of these programs, to start up their own ABLE program. And it's really very similar structure to how, if you've heard of a 529 college savings plan, it's a very similar structure to that. That's how over 20 years ago, the 529 college savings plans pretty much started up. And today they're run by individual states, but you can enroll in whatever program meets your needs. Okay. So Virginia, the Virginia legislation said that Virginia 529, which is my employer, Virginia 529 College Savings Plan, will start the state's ABLE program. So after essentially 20 years of, running a college savings plan really, really well, my agency expanded its mission to support people with disabilities as well with this new savings program, with ABLE programs. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So you're saying though, I just want to make sure that I understand. So if you live in a state that has not enacted it, you're saying you can still go ahead and get that ABLE savings?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And we have thousands of folks that have done that as well. We do have a lot of customers in Virginia, and that's, definitely, what we were set up to support is to support Virginians, but we are a national program as well. So we have customers in all 50 states, and we have a lot of families who have either their state doesn't have an ABLE program yet, and there's a lot of states that don't have an ABLE program and may not have an ABLE program, or they've looked at their state's program and they've looked at ABLEnow and they like some of the benefits that we've built into our program. So with ABLEnow, we have, a fantastic website. You can access your account 24/7 on our website. You get an ABLEnow card, which is a debit card attached to the account. So you can use that for expenses. It's called qualified disability expenses, what you can use the account for. And you can use the card to pay for those qualified disability expenses and, an easy way, anywhere that Visa is accepted. And, there's a lot of other benefits to the ABLEnow program. A lot of folks know that Virginia 529 is the largest college savings plan in the country. So they like the backing of being in saving with an organization that's been helping people save for over 20 years in a program like this. So, for a variety of reasons, Virginia's program, ABLEnow, has quickly grown to be, one of the largest in the country.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know that Virginia, from what I understand from you, we've been growing in leaps and bounds. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. If you have just joined us, we are live now with Sarah Pennington from ABLEnow, and we want to welcome Tammy B, Tammy C, Krista, and Emily. Thank you for joining us tonight. We also want to welcome Lauren, who just joined us. So thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us. Okay, so who administers the ABLE programs? Are they run by banks?
That's a great question that we get. A lot of times people are like, who's behind the ABLE programs and how do I enroll? And Virginia, so it differs for every state, but the way the Federal ABLE Act was written was it said that states have the option to set up these programs. So every program must be administered by a state. And different states, just depending on the way their legislature and their state government set up, have slightly different structures. Here in Virginia, we're run by Virginia 529, which is the Virginia 529 College Savings Program. Mm-hmm. In other states, it might be run out of a different type of office, or like a Secretary of Finance or a state treasurer or something like that. So every state's slightly different, but kind of the bottom line is all ABLE programs must be run by a state. And a lot of programs have partnered with a bank for some of that debit cards and back end structure. But yeah, every ABLE program has to be administered by a state. And then the next question we get often is, well, can I just go down the street to my local bank? Or, how do I get started? How do I open an account? Mm-hmm. And you actually do online. So we are available 24/7 on our website, able-now.com. And you go online and click open an account. And for most folks, they can have an account, complete the application in about 15, 20 minutes, sometimes faster. And you get a website that kind of lets you know how to log into your account and get started. So it's really easy. You set it up online. And that's, how we can keep the costs down too, of course, by being an online program. You have access to your account. You can, set it up at your leisure just from the website. But if you do have any questions, we have customer service here in Virginia. So you're calling folks in my office, and we're available weekdays, business hours, and I'm always happy to answer any questions and help walk you through the application if people have questions.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to stop again here. We want to welcome two new people, Reagan and PS. Thank you for joining us. And we are here with Sarah Pennington from ABLEnow. And please remember, when you ask questions tonight, you're putting your name in to become eligible to win an ABLEnow gift basket, which includes a exclusive autographed picture from the Born This Way cast on A&E, which is very exciting.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So, Sarah, who's eligible to open the ABLE account?
It's a great question. So the way, and this is true, what I'm telling you is true for all ABLE programs. So for, a lot of folks listening in may not be familiar with ABLE. And so this is true for both ABLEnow as well as any of the other programs that you find if you're in a different state and looking, kind of comparing programs. It's based on the federal law and the Federal ABLE Act. And the way the law was written was you must have the onset of your disability before the age of 26. So that's a big one that, folks, a lot of the organizations that, we've worked with early on in the Down syndrome or the autism, a lot of the disability organizations, you're born with your disability or you're diagnosed early on in elementary school or kind of early in life. But certainly there's a lot of other, disabilities that you might get your diagnosis or you might be in an accident later in life. So, that's always a tough conversation, for someone who might have had an accident in their late 20s. If it's after their 26th birthday, they wouldn't be eligible for an ABLE account. Now, there's legislation pending in DC, so it would have to be changed on the federal level to increase that age from 26 to 46. And we're in complete support of that. It would be great to see that pass and to open ABLE accounts up to more individuals. But for now, the onset of your disability had to be before the age of 26. And then there's two ways to qualify. The first is to be either eligible for SSI or SSDI based on your disability, or you can self-certify that you have a disability and a doctor's diagnosis of a disability, even if you're not eligible for SSI or SSDI. And you just, when you're kind of completing the application on the website, you just check one of those two eligibility criteria to let us know how you're eligible or your child or loved one is eligible.
Excellent.
So those are the two. Disability had to start before the age of 26 and then either be eligible for SSI or SSDI or have a disability diagnosis from a physician.
Well, let's cross our fingers that it'll get passed.
We do hope to see. Yeah, anything that would improve ABLE programs and open them up to more families and more individuals, we would love to see. And it's always, like I said, it's a tough conversation. I do a lot of outreach. I talk to a lot of folks and families, and it's always a tough conversation when, they're like, oh, ABLE accounts, what is this I can save without impacting my benefits? I thought I could only have $2,000. And you're like, you can, this is a brand new program. And there's, tons of folks still out there that have never even heard of ABLE accounts. This is a brand new program. And then you get to the age question and, they had a diagnosis or they had an accident that left them disabled, and it was after their 26th birthday and they're not eligible. And they're just, I'd say sign up for our newsletter, and, you'll be the first to know when ABLE accounts are open to more people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We also want to welcome Bridget Binns, who just joined us. Thank you for joining us, Bridget. All right. So we have a question for you, Sarah.
Oh, good.
Tammy asks, if your child is 18, but unable to independently set up an account, can the parents set it up?
They can, absolutely. That's a great question. So there's a number of different ways to set up an account. And the first, of course, is if you have a disability and you're able to manage your finances, an adult can absolutely set up their ABLEnow account themselves online. If they have an intellectual developmental disability, they're not managing their finances, but they're an adult, their parent can absolutely set it up for them. And of course, if your child is under 18, then the parent must set up the account for their child. If they have somebody with a power of attorney or a legal guardianship, somebody with legal guardianship, they're also able to set up the account. But we need to see that paperwork from the court that grants the legal guardianship or the power of attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are a parent of either a child under 18 or an adult, somebody over 18, you can absolutely set up their ABLE account for them.
Excellent. That's a great question, Tammy. Mm-hmm. And please remember, we are encouraging you guys to ask questions tonight, because every time you ask a question, your name gets put in for that drawing tonight for that ABLEnow basket, which includes that awesome autographed Born This Way photograph of the cast. All right. We also want to welcome Julie and Emily, who just joined us. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're here with Sarah Pennington of ABLEnow. So how can you use the money in the account, Sarah?
Yep. So the way that the Federal ABLE Act was written is really broad. So it says a lot of folks that, kind of know that ABLE accounts are set up similar to a 529 account, assume you can only use it for education, or maybe you can only use it for healthcare. But the accounts were actually set up, the way the law was written is it says that you can use the money in the ABLE account for anything related to health, independence, or quality of life. And that's super broad. So if you go to our website, able-now.com, we have a number of categories to kind of give you some ideas of how money in an ABLE account can be used. But it's really anything from basic living expenses to housing, if it's an adult and paying rent, health. So anything that's not currently covered by health insurance, Medicaid, that kind of things, therapies, assistive technology, transportation. I mean, the list goes on and on. Legal fees, lots and lots of things can be covered. And sometimes it's easier to explain what's not a qualified disability expense. So if I had an ABLE account, I couldn't go out and use the account probably to buy all my friends and family like holiday presents, right? Because that's not something that's benefiting me on my health and independence and quality of life. But absolutely, if the individual with the ABLEnow account needs an iPad for assistive technology, or they may, they want to do something, class of some sort, job training program, certainly anything they need, as far as basic living expenses, housing, groceries, those would all certainly be qualified disability expenses.
Excellent. So basically,
it's really broad. Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like basically just anything to benefit that individual's life.
The individual with the account. Exactly. Now the money can't be used, for anybody else. You can't use the money in an ABLE account and, send another child to college, or use the money in the ABLE account to buy, gifts for everybody. Yeah. But if it's related to that individual's health, independence, and quality of life, that's, absolutely considered a qualified disability expense.
Excellent. Okay. Mm-hmm. And how did you get involved with ABLEnow, Sarah?
So such a good question. And I often say, like you said at the beginning, I often stay pretty behind the scenes, certainly working on the outreach and the marketing, but I feel so fortunate to have, landed in this role. As you mentioned, I've worked for a few different state agencies, marketing everything from like Virginia grown vegetables, to, Virginia as a great place to do business and, lots of, fun experience. But I was so, fortunate that when, I had the opportunity to come on board to Virginia 529, my agency, when they were looking to start up the ABLEnow program. So they had, the law was passed, relatively recently at that time. Then they knew they needed to launch ABLEnow, which, is an entirely, expanded the mission of the organization, an entirely new program. And so, it was been such a fantastic opportunity to really, work with such a wonderful agency like Virginia 529 and try to understand, kind of before we launched what the community was looking for in an ABLE program and try to influence the organization and kind of take what I learn out in the community at different events, talking with families back to the agency as we, work to build the program and then now to kind of launch and, be able to do the outreach and marketing and let folks know about the program. It really is, a fantastic tool for individuals with disabilities to be able to save for the first time ever in an account like this and not impact their benefits. And so, in so many ways, it's all about financial independence and just making the quality of life so much better for so many folks. And so it's a real honor to be able to work on this program. And so I started with Virginia 529 just about 2 years ago now to work on ABLEnow and get it launched. And then we launched in December 2016.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You have such a serious dedication to the special needs community, Sarah. And
it's really sweet. Yeah.
We just, as a mom of a child with who has special needs, we want to thank you for that.
Oh, that's really nice.
We have another question, Sarah. Tammy asks, would we be able to send guardianship papers by mail, or does it have to be electronic?
So right now, our system actually just changed in the past week or so. And all the documentation materials, if you are applying for an account as an authorized representative, so either a legal guardian or have that power of attorney, those folks do need to upload electronically that documentation. It's an upgrade that we just had in the system to kind of make the application process a little easier for folks. But remember, again, that parents don't have to provide any documentation. So we don't need a documentation if you're applying to open an account for your son or daughter. But if you do, if you're applying to open an account for somebody else you have legal guardianship or power of attorney for, you upload that documentation. And if you have any questions about the process or, just need to kind of understand a little bit more about it, I mentioned that we have those customer service folks that are available Monday through Friday, business hours. Just go to our website and you can call, email, or live chat with them if you have any questions.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. We have another question as well, Sarah. Emily asks, how would somebody with a disability enroll?
Okay. So that's a great question. And a couple of minutes ago, we were talking about, I get the question a lot. Do I go to my local bank? Do I, how do I get started? And with ABLE accounts, and this is, I think, true for most all national ABLE programs, but certainly for ABLEnow, we're an online program. So you enroll, you apply for the account online, you go to our website, able-now.com, and you can apply right there, and you manage your account online too. So we are available online 24/7, but you just go to the website to get started.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's a good question, Emily. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question. We also have an eligibility quiz. I know we were talking about eligibility, Molly, a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we have a quick eligibility quiz on our website as well. If somebody wants to go through and answer 3 questions, they'll be able to know if them or their loved one is eligible for an ABLEnow account.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so Emily, you can get right on their website and take that quiz that they have. Or questions, I guess.
Yeah, it's a quick eligibility quiz, but that'll kind of let you know if you're eligible, and then it'll send you to the application if you're eligible for an ABLEnow account.
What has been some of your favorite projects in this, Sarah?
There's been so many. And like I said, I've been in this role for about 2 years. Kind of the first year was, getting ready to launch and building the program, and working with the community to see what, folks were looking for in an ABLE program. And then this past year has been basically outreach, like letting folks know we're open, letting folks know they can open an ABLE account with ABLEnow. And there's been so many great projects. I'll mention that in our prize pack, we're giving away a Born This Way, some Born This Way gear and a signed cast photo. But that's one of the fun things that I was able to work on, is that last summer, we partnered with the show Born This Way on A&E. It's a reality show that follows the lives of 7 young adults with Down syndrome. If somebody listening hasn't watched it, I really recommend it. It's a fantastic show. And we partnered with that show to spread the word about ABLEnow and ABLE accounts. So one of the show's stars, Megan, if you're familiar with the show, and her mom opened an ABLE account. They learned about ABLEnow on the show, and they opened an ABLEnow account for Megan. She has a business that she does called Megology, and she's making, she makes these cool products, these tie-dye socks and t-shirts and stuff. And, so she's working, she has income. And, in order to kind of protect her benefits and get the benefits of an ABLE account, she opened an ABLEnow account last summer on the show. And so as part of that, we did, some outreach with them. We got to do some social media stuff with them. And, of course, I got some goodies as well. So one of your, viewers will be getting one later on. But that was really one of my favorite projects that I've gotten to work on. I also have a cool opportunity to go out and just talk with a bunch of different groups. And as we were talking about with the eligibility, all disabilities would qualify for an ABLEnow account as long as that disability, the onset of the disability, was before age 26. So, I go out to Down syndrome support organizations, autism. I mentioned I'm going in April to the National Wheelchair Basketball Association tournament in Kentucky to let folks know about ABLE accounts. This weekend, I'm going to Miss Wheelchair Virginia pageant. So, I get to go out and talk with a lot of different groups and a lot of different families about ABLE accounts. And I absolutely love that aspect of my job.
That's exciting. Yeah. And that Miss Wheelchair, I was just talking to someone who's on their board, and that is a phenomenal group, what those women are doing.
It is. Yeah. I'm excited. I've never been to the pageant. Almost all the states have a pageant in their own community. And, so I'm going to Virginia's, and then I'm going to be going to the National Miss Wheelchair America pageant later on in the summer as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. But,
Very cool.
As part of that program, they are tremendous advocates for people with disabilities, and they, must have a platform, and they give a speech. And so I'm really excited about that and meeting those young women.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Very cool. So, you're fine. So what's on the horizon this year? What's new? What's going to be going on?
Yeah. So we are going to, where do I start? So we're going to be doing a lot more outreach stuff, which is exciting. I mentioned that's one of my favorite aspects of the job. And for the first time, we're sponsoring the Miss Wheelchair Virginia pageant. I'm doing the National Wheelchair Basketball Tournament. So just, trying to find new ways and new avenues to let families and individuals who are eligible know about ABLE accounts. I'll give you a stat. On the national level, the National Disability Institute estimates, it's a broad estimate, but anywhere from around 7 million individuals might be eligible for an ABLE account. Excuse me. So about 7 million individuals on the national level might be eligible for an ABLE account, and only 15,000 have actually opened an account so far. So, that tells us there's a lot of people out there that either have never heard of ABLE accounts or, just don't know enough about the benefits. And so that really is motivating to kind of, go out and just let more families and individuals know about this new tool that they have.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Again, we have another question, Sarah. Tammy asks, can bills be set up to be paid electronically or on a regular basis? I'm sorry. Can bills be set up to be paid electronically on a regular basis? Excuse me, I misread that.
So you can. There's different online tools that we have. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
We have different online tools that we have to be able to make things easy for you. So certainly if you have kind of a specific question about getting things set up, contact our customer service agents, but we have definitely built the program to make it easy. I know you can link a bank account that you have currently, and you can make contributions on a regular basis. So a lot of families say, I want to put $100 into my account every month, and they just make that, kind of automatic contributions. And there's definitely ways that you can pay a vendor, either with the ABLEnow card or through an online transfer. So certainly we can, walk you through, our customer service folks can walk you through how to make that easy on you.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
All right. So outside of ABLEnow, Sarah, first off, are there any other questions for ABLEnow? Anyone, or is there anything that I haven't touched on, Sarah, that you want to talk about?
We've touched on a lot. I think the main thing for folks to know, because it's a lot of information. We talked about how ABLEnow is a new savings program for people with disabilities. Allows you to save for the first time that without impacting your benefits, and you can save up to $15,000 a year. So that's kind of the basics to know. Everything else, we have a great website. It's able-now.com, and folks can go online to learn more. We have an eligibility quiz, and they can see if they're eligible, learn more about the program, and we have frequently asked questions as well as a link to contact our customer service there. So I think that'll help folks out a lot to learn more about the program and see if it's right for them.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Sarah, outside of ABLEnow,
yes.
What's life? Tell me about mom life for you.
Yeah.
You have this adorable little 1-year-old. I remember seeing some of the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah. It's changed everything.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
He just had his first birthday party, if I remember correctly.
He did. We did a small, just family. But yeah, it's great. And it's so amazing to see how much he changes on a month-to-month, sometimes day-to-day basis.
I'm sure. Yeah. Is he walking? So what is he doing developmentally?
He's crawling, pulling up, starting to walk. Yeah, he was born premature, so he was about a month early. So we go out on the adjusted age, but he's a big guy. So whenever I tell people that he was a preemie, they're like, seriously? Because he's a big guy, but he's doing great. And it's been so fun. It's fun to see how he changes and everything.
Oh,
yeah. I mentioned that you never know what your day is going to entail. And today we got a call that, from daycare to pick him up because he has pink eye. So
poor little guy.
So, hashtag mom life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Well, I mean, not the pink eye, of course, but it is.
It's fine. We got it under control.
Good stuff. Got some meds. You're good to go now.
We're good. Yeah.
It is amazing how in that first year of life, they change so much. It's incredible.
Yeah. And I think that, we had, a month-long stay at the NICU, and having that experience of just, sort of a little bit of a rough start, just, amplifies all the other stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Sarah, we have another question that's come in. This person wants to know, do these accounts affect benefits from the DSS, like food stamps?
So it's a great question. So the way the Federal ABLE Act is written, and one of the big benefits of ABLE accounts in general, is they were set up to not impact means-tested benefits, most means-tested benefits. And we throw out Medicaid and SSI out there because those are some of the ones that really a lot of people in the disability community rely on. For other benefits, I'd recommend folks talk with your benefits advisor. We can't give financial, legal, tax, or benefits advice. And so I want to make sure that, folks do their homework, talk with their benefits advisor, but you have the law on your side. The Federal ABLE Act was written to say that, these ABLE accounts do not impact most means tested benefits. And so, but certainly, there's different states administering them. There's different counties and cities, and, there's folks getting benefits from a variety of different, areas of the government. So definitely check with your benefits advisor, and, go to our website, ABLE-now.com, and, do homework, kind of learn more about these accounts. And, we have links to the federal laws and such. And we'd be happy to walk you through that as well if you want to contact our customer service.
Excellent. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hold on. Give me just a second, Sarah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's another question. Mm-hmm. Would you accept someone on Medicare, and how does that work?
So basically there's a few ways to qualify for an ABLE account. The first kind of main thing to know is that the onset of the disability had to start before the age of 26. And then there's two ways to qualify. The first is if you are receiving or eligible to receive SSI or SSDI, you are automatically eligible for an ABLE account. And then the other way is self-certification. So as long as you have a disability diagnosis from a physician, then you can qualify through the self-certification process. And our application walks you through both, and you make that selection there. We also have an eligibility quiz on our website. So that's able-now.com. So you can go online, click, eligibility, and take, it's 3 quick questions to see if you'd be eligible for an ABLE account. But those are the main ways to qualify, is either that being eligible for SSI or SSDI, or self-certifying because you have a qualified disability.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for asking
that question. Great questions.
Yeah, these are fabulous questions tonight. We have a really engaged audience.
Yeah.
I want to say for my first introduction to the ABLE account, Sarah, was when I first started Project Just Like You. Mm-hmm. One of the people I featured was Kayla, and Kayla is who they named the law in Delaware after. And we featured her. Yeah, we featured her. She was also one of the models, or she is one of the models for Changing the Face of Beauty.
Okay.
She had this huge 6-foot poster of her, Gap poster of her up in Times Square, and her family.
Can you imagine? That's amazing.
I know. I mean, I remember, it was so vivid. She was one of the first people I started featuring, or when I featured.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing introduction to ABLE and to the people it has affected. And there was a picture of her on my page with her standing next to Joe Biden. They were standing there together when they enacted it. Her family went up to Washington, D.C. And it's incredible to see how the special needs community is so tight with one another. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone seems to know everyone.
Yeah. Well, that was
my introduction to ABLE.
Yeah. And that's kind of a great example that this is a program that was, really a dream of the disability community for over a decade, to be able to save and have financial independence, either for themselves or for their children, and not impact the benefits. I mean, they can continue to receive those important benefits that they need. But in addition, have a savings account, be able to work and save and, kind of build up that nest egg. And that's something that, a lot of families and a lot of individuals were not able to do before the ABLE programs came into existence. And, it's so wonderful to work on ABLEnow and just to hear so many stories like that, of how, folks really, advocated for the ABLE Act, either on the federal level or in their state. Mm-hmm. And then now to see the program come to fruition and have all of these individuals and families be able to open accounts, it's a real honor, and it's a real fantastic, just mission that we have to be able to help families and individuals save for the future.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
it really is. And when I started Project Just Like You, I started to see how tight-knit it all was, and how, just like you're saying, the families up in Northern Virginia, because I've heard about them too.
Okay.
And then you have this family in Delaware that was advocating for that law, and now they're it's called Kayla's Law. So,
Yeah, that's so cool.
you just start to meet these different people and it all comes together and you're like, holy cow, this is an incredible network of people and individuals that are just on fire to make this world a better place.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, just about empowerment and letting people, have their own money, have their own, financial independence and inclusion. It's about including folks.
It's about inclusion.
Yeah. Everybody, they can have savings accounts just like you or I. And that really, that means a lot. And I think people are really proud of the fact that, it came up from the disability community themselves and, the community made it happen. So
absolutely. All right, Sarah, we have yet another question.
Good.
Which is awesome. Yeah. Thank you for all these questions tonight, guys. Someone wants to know, what's the best way to contact you?
Yeah. Oh, to contact me?
Yeah.
So go on to the ABLEnow website, able-now.com, and you can click our customer service or contact us. And if you just kind of write a note there, you can write an email or call. They can put you in touch with me directly. Yeah. And I will say too, if, I hope that folks are learning about ABLE accounts and ABLEnow, if they haven't heard about this new program and this new tool. We do offer, if you have a group back home and you want us to send you some brochures to share out with that group, or you want to do a webinar for your group or a presentation, we'd be happy to do that. And we do that all the time to just spread the word about ABLE accounts.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So if you're from another state tuning in tonight, you can absolutely contact them, ABLEnow, and have a representative come meet you or meet your group.
We'll do what we can.
Wherever you are. Yeah.
Sometimes it might be virtually like this. We might do a for out-of-state folks, but we definitely, and we also try to go out to a lot of the national conferences. So we have, a schedule of conferences that we attend. I know you and I were talking about before this broadcast. ABLEnow will be at the NDSS conference coming up in April up in Washington, D.C. And there's a lot of other conferences and events that we like to go to as well to help spread the word. So our hope is that we talk to a lot of the influencers at those national conferences, and then they bring back information about ABLEnow and ABLE accounts to their own community.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that conference.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that concludes our Movement Monday, unless there's any other questions out there.
It went by so fast.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun, right, Sarah?
It does.
And we're gonna be doing our drawing here in a few short minutes. So I'm waiting to hear the numbers, Sarah. You're gonna have to pick a number in a second, okay?
Ooh, good.
Yeah. Pick a number between 1 and 47.
Okay, I'm going to pick.
Drum roll.
I know, 12.
12. All right. We'll find out who the lucky winner is. Doing the drum roll. All right. Let's see. Tammy Compton, you have won our ABLEnow prize pack tonight. Congratulations, Tammy. Yay. Tammy, if you could please email us and we'll get you in touch with Sarah and we'll be able to get that information over to her.
Congratulations, Tammy.
Congratulations.
I heard we had a lot of Tammys joining, so I'm glad that Tammy
won. That's right. It's exciting. Yeah, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. Thank you for your questions. And thank you for being part of Movement Monday. And we hope you join us again next week when we will be interviewing Senator Donovan of Virginia. So thank you again and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Sarah, for spending your time with us. It was a lot of fun tonight with you. Awesome. All right. Well, we hope you all have a great evening and congratulations again to Tammy Compton.